Hi, everybody. Welcome to Inside Sports on LCTV 66. Eric May along with Nick Dianastasis as we put a wrap on the NCAA Basketball tournament here for 2017. We have crowned a new not that we did it, but a new crown has been given the UNC Tar Heels. Nick, did you see the game?
I did. I was amazed in the national championship game. Gonzaga, they gave him a heck of a battle. It was a great basketball game for almost the whole game. It was. It is. I was hoping Gonzaga would upset them. Unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to happen.
Yeah, well, you got to figure North Carolina playing with a chip on their shoulder, losing
Right.
a heartbreaker a year ago to Villanova.
Right in that last second shot, right?
But
Yeah.
they came back and you look at the game and it wasn't really a well played championship game. It was close, which is good.
Yeah, you're right. There was some turnovers back and forth, this
But
and that, right?
Four shooting
Fouls.
turnovers.
Yeah.
It appeared that the game really was sloppy at times.
It
It's
was,
a shame too,
which is
because
true.
this is the championship game.
Right.
You want the best of the best. Let's face it, it's going to be hard to top last year's game between Nova and North Carolina.
Absolutely will be.
But I think
yes.
a lot of people were drawn to this because Gonzaga was in for the first time against a perennial team that's always there in North Carolina.
Exactly.
And talk about some of the sloppiness. I mean, just look at some of the numbers. Gonzaga, 34% from the floor. North Carolina, 36%. What got me was, and this is something that I noticed with North Carolina throughout the tournament, they did not shoot well from the free throw line. Championship game, they were just 58% from the foul line. A lot of times when you don't shoot well, you don't win.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, let's face it, this is a tested North Carolina team.
Exactly. They're a tested team in North Carolina. Exactly.
Gonzaga, on the other hand, 42% from the three-point line, which was pretty good. But North Carolina, from the three-point line, 15%. They hit just 4 of 27. So you look at strictly just the numbers there between the free throws and the three-point shooting, and you think North Carolina doesn't have a chance.
Exactly. You're right.
One stat, though, I think that really was probably the telling stat, and you mentioned it, were the turnovers. 14 turnovers committed by Gonzaga, just 4 by North Carolina. So I think really, if there's a telling story, it's got to be the turnovers.
That's the difference in winning and losing a game like a team with 10 more turnovers than the other. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, it really does.
And the one thing that kind of bothered me is now they're seeing articles saying that there was a controversial call at the end. If you remember, Gonzaga, North Carolina going after a rebound, they called a jump ball.
Right.
And the guy from North Carolina had his hand actually out of bounds. And they
Right.
think that's a controversial call. Well, you know what? Okay, let's just say it goes to Gonzaga. That doesn't say they hit the shot.
Exactly.
They could have turned the ball over.
Exactly.
They committed a foul. So
Exactly right. I would agree with that. Right.
one play doesn't determine a championship.
I would agree with it. One
Yeah.
play doesn't determine a championship. It does not. That's true.
All right. Well, let's just kind of go back through the brackets. I want to get your thoughts on some of the teams that you thought were a surprise and maybe some that were a disappointment. All right, let's start in the East bracket. Obviously, South Carolina went the distance, making it to the Final Four. Personally, I think that was one of the surprise teams out of the East.
It was. That was one of the great Cinderella stories. South Carolina going to the Final Four. Absolutely. The teams they went through, when they knock a team like a Duke, that was just amazing. How did they get there? It was incredible.
A Duke team that I had picking.
And a very good Florida team.
Yes.
They go along the way after that.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so North Carolina, obviously one of the surprises out of the East. What about a disappointment out of the East? You had defending champion Villanova, and you had Duke. Who was more, do you think, of a disappointment as far as the tournament is concerned?
Well, in my opinion, I'd say Villanova was the biggest disappointment, only because they won a national title last year. I expect Villanova to go to the Final Four this year. In the one bracket, I expect them to go, and they, of course, didn't come close. They get knocked off by Wisconsin in their second-round game.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to disagree. I think Duke. I think Duke was really built for the long run. Villanova had a lot of guys to replace from last year's team, and Jay Wright even admitted that. He said, "Look, this is not the same team as last year. That team is completely different." I think Duke losing in round 2 was frustrating, not only for me because I picked them, but I think a lot of people had Duke possibly going into the finals as well. And I know a lot of people wanted to see a Duke-North Carolina matchup again. I mean, you face them twice during the regular season. How nice would it be for a finals to be like that?
Exactly. Yeah.
No. All right. Down here in the West bracket, Gonzaga, number 1 seed, made it to the finals championship game for the first time in school history. Obviously, a nice story there. What about some of the other teams that were a surprise as far as you're concerned coming out of the West?
I think Xavier seemed a big surprise.
Yeah.
Come out of the West, what they accomplished.
Yeah, yeah.
Getting away the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming in as a number 11 seed.
Exactly. That's the other thing.
Yeah. I have to admit, I did have him winning that first round, but I think I had him losing in the second round. Yeah, and this is a team now a program that is starting to be in this tournament every year and making some noise every year.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. And I picked Maryland to go to Final Four in that region. Of course, they didn't come close. Maryland, unfortunately, loses the first game, and they're out of the tournament.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Well, I had Arizona as the team that represent the West, but Gonzaga with a good, strong run. I mean, let's face it, they were number 1 for a number of weeks throughout the regular season. A lot of people were thinking, okay, what kind of competition do they have out West? Granted, their defense was stellar, but would they have enough to win it all? They were just 1 game short.
That's remarkable. Yeah. Gonzaga is definitely one of the best stories in all sports this year.
All right.
Absolutely.
Now, on the flip side of that, I guess really the other one we have to mention is Northwestern, team that got in. And you think about it, again, you go back to controversial calls. There was a shot where the defender from Gonzaga, his hand came up through the basket and blocked the shot. The officials didn't see it. Technically, it should have been a goaltending and a basket to Northwestern. Unfortunately, that happened late in the game, come crunch time. But unfortunately, the officials missed it. That would have been a huge upset.
It would have been, yes. There's no question. Oh, my gosh, yes.
Yeah. But, that's going to happen. Officials are going to miss calls just like they did in the championship game. So,
exactly.
So it was Gonzaga, the number 1 seed in the East, and South Carolina, a number 7 seed, coming out of the East. Now, one thing that we look at, and every year you wonder when the tournament starts, when is a number 16 seed going to upset a number 1? It's never happened. And everybody I know, I do it too. When the bracket comes out, I look at the matchups. Is there a point in time, do you think a 16 will eventually beat a 1, or is that just too big of a mountain?
That's a good question. It is too big of a mountain. I mean, the chance of that happening are probably almost slim to none. The percentages, something like that, happening like that. A 16 seed knocking off a number 1 seed in the first round of the men's basketball tournament.
Well, let's move down one notch. Number 15 versus number 2. It has happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times since 1991 where number 15 has beat a number 2. Can you tell me who the last team was as a number 15 to win versus a number 2?
Oh, you mean the first round, right?
In the first round.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna say Lehigh over Duke.
That was one of them, and that was in 2012.
2012.
Yeah, Lehigh beat Duke 75-70. It actually occurred last year.
Oh, that's last year. Holy mackerel! I
Yep.
Who that was. Oh my God, who was that team? I think how far a team went to the tournament last year. The team that accomplished that feat. I wonder how far they went to the tournament after that win.
Well, this team also had an upset in the first round this year as well.
Oh my God!
You want to take a look? Go ahead.
Holy mackerel!
Take a peek at the bracket. See if you can figure this one out.
That's pretty incredible.
They were number 15 last year. They beat Michigan State, if that will give you a hint. Last year. They beat them 80-61.
Wow. Oh my goodness. And that same team did it this year, too. I think.
That same team won it in the first round this year. They were not a number 15 seed, though. Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee, that's the team.
They were a number 12 this year and beat Minnesota.
Isn't that something? Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, can you remember when the first time it was? All right, I'll give you the year.
Go ahead, yeah.
1991 was the first year it happened. And, of course, this is since when they went to 64 teams. Since they went to 64 teams, the first time a 15 beat a 2, 1991. Remember who it was?
Well, I thought they went to 64 teams first and back in 1985.
Yes, but
from there on.
But the first time a 15 beat a 2 occurred in 1991.
In 1991.
Right.
Okay. Oh my God, interesting. Okay. Let's see.
Do you want me to give you who was upset?
That's
who
interesting.
the number 2 team was?
That was. This is 1991. The 1991 team of Duke won the national title that year, men's basketball, won it all. It obviously wasn't them. So Duke already was a high seed, so that kind of takes care of that one.
The loser was Syracuse.
Loser was Syracuse in that first or second round? Holy mackerel! Wow.
Who was the number 15 seed that beat them?
In 1991, I got to rethink that one. Holy mackerel!
Think insects.
What's that?
Insects. That's their mascot.
Isn't that interesting? Oh my gosh, let me think.
From the state of Virginia.
Oh my God, West Virginia Mountaineers, or maybe Virginia Tech.
No,
it wasn't them.
It was the Richmond Spiders.
Richmond Spiders. Oh my God.
Spiders are insects, right?
Right, exactly. Okay. You got it.
I don't know if it was another technical term. All right.
Now I see what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's one trivia question. I got more coming your way. So we're going to step aside, and then we're going to look at the Midwest and the South bracket, and I got more trivia questions for you.
Sounds good.
So,
yes.
Right. We'll step aside. We'll come back to more Inside Sports here on LCTV 66.
LCTV 66 is your community channel, and your donations keep us on the air and help to produce more local programs. Send your tax-deductible donation of $500, $100, or more to the address on the screen. Or think of it this way: for the price of a couple of movie tickets, you can help support your community channel. Send what you can and be a part of all that is good about Lancaster County. Thank you for your tax-deductible donation to LCTV 66, Lancaster's Connection. Catch local sports every night at 8:30 on LCTV 66, your local connection. Enjoy Mormon Tabernacle Choir, music in the spoken word, Sundays at 8:30 till 10 a.m. and 10:30 p.m. till midnight on LCTV 66, your local connection.
Welcome back to LCTV 66, Inside Sports. Eric, May and Nick Dianastasis, as we are recapping the NCAA men's basketball tournament, going back through the bracket. Surprises, disappointments. All right, Nick, up to the Midwest. We saw the Oregon Ducks as a number 3 seed make it all the way to the Final Four. This is a team I thought was going to go out in the second round. I thought I had read that one of their top players was done for the year, and I thought maybe that would have been the difference. But give credit to the Ducks; they had a really nice run. I
give it a lot of credit. Hats off to the Ducks, or your next men's basketball team. There's to me, lose one of the top players. It's amazing they went so far without him. That wasn't an amazing run ahead without that player. Imagine how better they could have been if they would have had him and not lost him with that injury. And that's remarkable. They go to the Final Four for the first time since 1939. The year they won all men's basketball tournament, Oregon, 1939. They said they won it all.
A little bit of a drought there that they've ended.
Right.
I had Louisville go into the Final Four. In fact, I had them going to the championship game against Duke, but they get knocked off by Michigan. Again, a Michigan team that caught fire at the end, had a nice little run in the first couple of rounds before getting knocked off by the aforementioned Oregon Ducks. So
Right.
obviously Oregon, one of the nice surprises. What about a team that was a little disappointing from the Midwest? Who do you think was a little bit of a letdown?
I think I'm gonna say probably. Yeah, I'll say Purdue was a little bit of a disappointment, but Louisville was even more of a disappointment.
Yeah.
Than Purdue.
Yeah, Louisville had a nice win first round, and then they got knocked off by Michigan. I think the Rhode Island story was kind of intriguing. As
It was an intriguing story. It was.
Beating Creighton,
Yeah.
and then taking Oregon to the finish, only losing to them by 3.
Right, what a game that they gave them.
72.
Exactly.
So, this is what's so neat about this tournament is that regardless of the seeds, there's going to be upsets. And this year saw a number of them. And I thought I would think outside the box and try and pick a couple of them. Obviously, it didn't pan out. But I think this is what makes the viewership for this tournament so enticing.
It does.
You know, you look for that Cinderella team that's going to go, far. Maybe not into the Final Four, but really make a nice run and kind of put their school on the map.
It's a great prestigious playoff thing to do to the NCAA for major sports. It's a great thing to have.
Yeah,
that.
there's nothing like it.
It is.
All right, down
Absolutely.
in the South, obviously the Tar Heels, the number 1 seed, they go the entire distance, winning the title. What about a nice story coming out of the South? What program you think kind of put themselves on the map here?
I think I'm going to. You know what? I mean, I'd say, but Butler did okay. Get it what the Sweet 16, right? Yeah, and then there was. I'm not surprised North Carolina. We knew would have a great run. Obviously not surprised with them, and. Actually, you know what? The team I thought they did pretty good again this year. UCLA, they did pretty well. Go to the Sweet 16. They had a pretty nice year for them.
Yeah.
Steve Alf did a good job. The UCLA program.
I think especially with Butler, when Coach Stevens went to Boston and became the Celtics head coach, you're wondering how that was going to affect the program because he had really made Butler a pretty strong basketball program, and then when he went to Boston, I was wondering how that was going to affect. The players coming back, the recruiting. But let's face it, at 23-8 and the number 4 seed, kind of a nice run by the Bulldogs.
Absolutely, it was. Absolutely nice run.
Yeah, and kind of nice to see UCLA back in the news again.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, they were the team back in the 60s and 70s.
For many, many years. That Greg John Wooden year when he wins 10 national titles, a 12-year span, that's incredible.
Now, this year marked the first appearance for 5 teams. Don't look at the bracket.
Oh, okay, sure.
5 teams made an NCAA appearance for the first time. Can you name all 5 or give me as many as you can?
I'm going to try and name as many as I can. I'd love to get all of them. That'd be great.
Let's see how good you are.
Well, Northwestern's the first NCAA basketball tournament appearance ever, and they won the first one, the first game anyway. Okay. Let's see who else. Okay, think of some more here.
And I think all of the other ones lost in the first round.
Okay. I'm going to say Rhode Island might be another one.
No.
Okay. And other teams. Interesting. Gotta be some other ones. Let's see. Other one. Okay.
Well, just so we keep things moving. North Dakota.
Oh my gosh.
Northern Kentucky. UC Davis and Jacksonville State.
Isn't that something? Oh
All
my
right,
gosh.
here's one you'll probably nail. 4 teams this year marked their 30th or more appearance in the tournament since 1985. Can you name those 4 schools that have been in it now for more than 30 years?
Or 30 times, yes, whichever way you look
Right.
at it. Right. Okay.
Right.
Since 1985. Okay. All right.
So I kind of lay this one on a
Okay.
silver platter for you.
Okay. I'm going to say North Carolina.
That's 1.
I'm going to say UCLA's got to be another one.
No.
That's hard to believe. We want like 12 national titles. That's why I'm kind of shocked.
Wow, this is since 1985.
Oh, excuse me, 1985.
Yeah.
I got it's 1985. Okay, I'll say Duke.
That's 2.
Okay. I already said North Carolina, didn't I?
Yep.
And I already said Duke, right? Okay, Kentucky.
Nope.
That's a shocker. Wow. I figured they'd be one of them.
The one of them surprised me. The other one is a
Okay.
powerhouse.
Okay. I wonder if Louisville might be one of the other ones. Louisville Cardinals. Isn't that something? Wow. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh. That's what they won a tournament this year. Okay, I can't. I won't be guessing them. Okay. Villanova. Wow. It's amazing.
Think Danny Manning,
Oh, Kansas.
Kansas.
Right.
Lute Olson,
And Lute Olson, Arizona.
Arizona. There's your 4. All right. Now, kind of riding on the coattails of that one, there have been 27 teams that have appeared in the Final Four at least 4 times. Give me... Well, tell you what. Go ahead and give me as many as you can. I'll give you like a minute and see if you can name off as many as you can. Final Four, 4 times.
And 27 teams that did it.
27 teams that have been
That's
to the Final
remarkable.
Four at least 4 times.
That's incredible.
Now this is from the beginning, not just since '85.
From the very beginning was
From
first
the
in
very-
1939.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
isn't that? Oh my God. Okay.
So go ahead. Let's
Okay.
see.
All right. North Carolina is obviously one of them.
Yes.
I say Duke's got to be another one.
Yes.
Yes. I'll say Kentucky,
Yes.
Kansas.
Yes.
Okay. UCLA.
Yes.
Okay.
You got the top 5 right there.
Okay. All right. I got to think of another one. How about Louisville?
Yes.
Okay.
Now let's see how good
Who
you
I
are.
missed? Who else? Who might have missed with their teams? Besides those 5 or 6. Think who else?
Go ahead. We'll give you 30 seconds.
Holy mackerel! Wow.
Fire some
That's
off.
amazing. That's just amazing. Okay. Let's see. I already said. Okay. Let's see what's other. Oh my God. Oh, how about Indiana Hoosiers?
Indiana Hoosiers.
The Bobby Knight era.
Yes, indeed.
Of course, yes, yes. How about Michigan?
Michigan. Wolverines, yes.
All right, yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Michigan State.
Michigan State. There's another one.
Okay.
So you almost got half. You got 9 so far.
Okay. All right.
All right. I'll give you a hint with some of these.
Okay.
Nolan Richardson,
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
The won 1994 national title, the best team they ever had in their history.
I don't think he won a title as head coach, but Coach Huggins.
Oh, Bob Huggins, West Virginia?
No? Where was he before West Virginia?
There was a team that was before West Virginia. Who was that school? Oh my gosh. He took them the Final Four. There was a team before that. Who that school was. Okay, which conference they'd be out to figure which conference.
About Cincinnati.
University of Cincinnati Bearcats. Isn't that something?
Another team within the same state. Who's another one?
The same state as Cincinnati, you mean?
Same state. since that Cincinnati plays in also have been to the Final Four 4 times.
In the same state of Ohio. Okay, I think who else that would be. Yeah, it's right. Yeah. Obviously not Xavier, of course.
Yeah.
No. From the Midwest, and interesting, from the same state of Ohio. Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Buckeyes, isn't that something?
How about Jim Boeheim?
Jim Boeheim of Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Yeah, right. Can't forget about him. He was a great coach.
Coach Calhoun.
Oh, Connecticut.
Right.
You also want to think 3 national titles, I believe, at Connecticut, or at least 2.
Yeah, because don't forget that he didn't win the most recent one.
Right.
Right.
From another coach, right.
How about Billy Donovan?
Billy Donovan, Florida, won 2 straight national titles at Florida.
Last team to win back-to-back championships. John Thompson.
John Thompson at Georgetown,
Yeah.
right.
And then you have the Houston Cougars.
Yeah.
Illinois. The Oklahoma Sooners.
You're right. Oh, my God.
Arizona Wildcats. Kansas State Wildcats. LSU. UNLV. The Running Rebels.
I remember that. Yeah, Jerry Tarkanian.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Utah. Villanova. You forgot Villanova.
I was mentioning the Airport Villanova. The Final Fours. They were right in there
and
that many times.
And the Wisconsin Badgers.
And the Badgers. Oh, my gosh.
Yep. So all in all, just a tremendous tournament. And I guess I can't help it not mentioning, though, the women's tournament real quick. Did you see the end of the Connecticut-Mississippi State game?
I watched it to the end of regulation, and it was like 60-all going into overtime.
So you missed Morgan Williams hitting the game winner?
I missed that part in overtime.
Well, that name will be etched in trivia history as the person that hit the winning basket to end Connecticut's incredible winning streak, 111 games.
That's remarkable.
I mean, when you think about that, they always talk about records being broken. I don't know if we'll ever see something like that being broken. I really don't.
Right. Well, of course, Joe won the UCLA 88 game winning streak, as you know. His streak was broken by Notre Dame and Digger Phelps, I believe, 1974.
But then to go 23 more games, that's an entire season.
It is. That's incredible. That's very hard to do. It may never be done again.
No. So that does it for 2017 in the NCAA playoffs. Kind of put this one in the memory banks and bring it out next year as we look ahead towards next year. So for Nick Dianastasis, I'm Eric May. Thanks for joining us Inside Sports on LCTV 66.